This is the journey of a man who discovered the essence of life only after being stripped of all certainty, comfort, and companionship. And when all was said and done, he found himself repeating with quiet conviction, "Everything that happens, happens for a reason." Aditya was a young man, merely 25 years of age. A faint shadow of a beard lined his weary face, his eyes heavy with exhaustion, and his heart quietly burdened by wounds no one else could see. He earned his living through hard labor at a brick kiln. He nurtured no grand ambitions, only the modest desire to earn enough for 2 meals a day and to spend each night in uninterrupted rest. However, the course of his life was not destined to follow the simplicity he hoped for. It seemed instead that existence was intent on subjecting him to a series of relentless trials, each one more harrowing than the last. He had no memory of his parents. They had disappeared from his life at a tender age, leaving behind no trace. Raised in an orphanage, he eventually ran away when he was 12 years old. The reasons for his escape remained unspoken, perhaps even unprocessed. From that point onward, survival became his only pursuit. He scrubbed utensils in roadside eateries, peddled goods from pushcarts, and endured the daily cruelties of a world indifferent to his pain. He was ridiculed, berated, even assaulted on occasion, and though he never surrendered, the steady erosion of his spirit continued in silence. Fortune, if it could be called that, eventually placed him at a brick kiln. It was there that he encountered an older laborer named Ramu Kaka, a man advanced in years but light-hearted in nature. With fatherly warmth, Ramu Kaka often said, "No sorrow lasts forever, son. Time brings change. Whatever happens, happens for the best." Aditya would smile faintly in reply, yet his heart remained untouched by optimism. Then came the day that would alter his life in ways he could not have foreseen. An accident at the kiln caused a wall to collapse. Aditya survived, but not unscathed. His legs were grievously injured, leaving him confined to a bed for months. With no food, no aid, and no familiar face left beside him, Ramu Kaka having returned to his village, Aditya was once again abandoned at the brink of despair. Yet within that darkness, a glimmer of light emerged. In the nearby slum dwelled an elderly photographer named Dayaram. Observing Aditya's helpless condition, he offered shelter and asked him gently, "What do you do, son?" Aditya responded with defeated honesty, "I am no longer capable of doing anything." Dayaram, undeterred, smiled with quiet assurance and said, "Come, let me teach you something." From beneath a dusty cloth, he retrieved an old camera and began instructing Aditya in the art of photography. At first, the craft felt foreign and impenetrable, but gradually, Aditya began to perceive light, color, and shadow not merely as elements of an image, but as the emotional language of life itself. As his body healed, so too did his inner world. His eyes began to discover depth where others saw only surfaces. In every captured moment, he found a story, a sentiment, a quiet truth. In time, Aditya resolved to reveal the world through the lens of his lived experience, marked not by glamour, but by sincerity, sorrow, and the overlooked beauty of struggle. Dayaram supported him in organizing his first exhibition. It featured a mere 15 photographs, yet within each frame was a profound honesty that captivated every viewer. Spectators were moved, astonished that a former laborer could possess such depth of vision and emotion. As months passed, Aditya's name began to circulate beyond the narrow lanes he once wandered. Newspapers recounted his improbable rise, headlines celebrating him as the man who journeyed from pavement to portraits. He was invited for interviews, honored with awards, and praised across platforms. Still, the humility in his smile remained unshaken. When asked during an interview whether he regretted the accident that left him bedridden, Aditya replied, Had that wall not fallen, I might still be lifting bricks. That tragedy altered the direction of my life. And so I believe with all my heart, everything that happens, happens for a reason. It is only in hindsight that the jagged edges of our past begin to resemble the stepping stones to our purpose. Every wound, every disappointment, and every seemingly ruinous moment serves a function greater than immediate comprehension. If that wall had not collapsed, Aditya would never have encountered photography. Had he not suffered, he would not have discovered the power within his gaze. The dust and noise of the kiln might have silenced his potential forever. Therefore, in the moments when life brings you to your knees, when it feels as though all hope has abandoned you, pause, breathe, and ask yourself if this too might be a hidden gift. For life, though rarely easy, is always deliberate. It is not designed to punish, but to awaken, to sculpt, and to elevate.